is just fantastic. Captain's log, subdate 210820. As we've made our way beyond the blockade, Subfleet have requested a full report on what transpired. I then held a senior staff meeting and we all agreed to just blame crewman Bork and request additional Talisker. Welcome everyone to This Week at Twitter, or twat. Today we've got a packed house. Video, house, you know what I mean. We're going to start with this quickly. Yobi, no. I'm not against AP, but AP would have to ask me, not you as an intermediary. Although it could be fun. So to the first subject, we go to the hashtag that was trending, release the Aya cut. Aya. This came courtesy of Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg, or Victor Stone in Justice League. The reason why is because apparently there is a better version of the 2016 Suicide Squad movie. The one where Jared Leto was bigged up as the Joker, and we barely got to see him at all. If it's anything like Batman v Superman where the extended version was vastly superior, then I'm all for it, and I'd very much like to see it. Apparently the alternate version is darker, which is where it should be. This is where one of the many reasons why in fact Warner Brothers get this so vastly wrong. They're so busy trying to catch up with Marvel that do a very polished version that they seem to continually forget the darker, grittier versions are what the fans want. In the Marvel films you rarely see mortality really explored, but it is in the DCEU under Snyder, and hopefully the Aya version would be vastly better, but it is unlikely at this point that we'd ever get to see it, no matter how much we ask. And by the way, there were pictures many saw of the original cut where it clearly looked darker, it looked more sinister, it looked more brutal. Chances are it would also be longer and we get more out of the characters we wanted to see, i.e. the guy who was so method he brought mice onto set to torment his co-stars. So next we go to a blue checkmark that has taken it upon himself for Gamer Sutra, whatever, to write an article, but he's posted via a tweet. It's pretty wild that in 2021, a new game studio still looks like this. Included is a photo of basically an all-male game studio that are all white. They might have some Cherokee in them. I hear that one likes to be thrown around a lot. And because he was starting to get ratioed, he decided to explain himself more, and in doing so, further proved a point that perhaps he was experiencing some guilt, manly man guilt, because he himself was just like this back in the day. In his day, you whippersnippers. Do I need to continue pointing out how utterly stupid you are? It should always be meritocratic, and if you obsess over race, you make an unnecessary point. This isn't some big yikes or big gotcha. No, you've just pointed and made a deal out of something that is not a deal, or a big deal. I probably should have featured the next one second to keep things a little more themed, but Thanos was trending. Twice I noticed this week. The second was because of the What If series Marvel is doing, and he features within it. But the first one was because of this tweet by Wanda's bestie. Imagine Thanos facing Wanda after she had transformed into the Scarlet Witch. The thing with this tweet is it's remarkably stupid. We've already seen Thanos have his ass handed to him by Captain Clayface. We know that Scarlet Witch, in a more wrathful, raw sense, before becoming, let's say, the OP version, could beat the crap out of Thanos. So the end result would be the same, which would in effect kill the movie. Characters like Scarlet Witch are a bit of a problem, because either they are too OP or they're too weak. Now with her you see her become strong. It's not the same as with Captain Marvel, so there is some balance. But in reality, considering the nature of Endgame itself and that final battle, would anyone want to insert an OP character? Bear in mind here, when they did, that character had to be yeeted with a reality stone. Or was it the power stone? Space stone? She was yeeted with a purple skittle. Alright. And I just want to insert, The only way Scarlet Witch wins is if she takes him out of his ability to use physical force. That applies to literally anyone. So what is she really facing? Nothing, because she can wrap them up and crush them. You could insert anyone there, except for the one called One Above All. That might well be a step too far. And I'm still salty in Endgame that very few of the ladies had so much as a scratch on them, but the guys were utterly brutalized. Next, we're going to go to Cock, and for this, some audience participation. If you're not watching, look at the screen for this image. Solve an argument between thieves and I. What colour is this car? Yellow or green? Poll below. I did notice when I first archived it was 50-50, something which it has since remained. I am interested to know what you think the correct answer is. Do let me know down below. Next, we go to Stithy. My response would have been, Age, you dumb bish. This is in response to a retweet from Whack Nicholson. Within it, there are two images that come from Spooky Weeb Trash. He was the perfect himbo archetype. What happened? The images underneath are of Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser has been through a rather rough life. He had some big movies, had an even messier and bigger divorce, and understandably with the stresses of life, he aged. We all age. I remember seeing these tweets before they were deleted. I vaguely recall also seeing Spooky Weeb Trash stand for him, but I didn't see the tweets disappear until Whack Nicholson tweeted underneath, if someone said this about a woman, how would you feel? And there's a point to that. Some people though do age quite poorly, some do not. I know that Brendan Fraser had some injuries that made it harder for him to work out. I also know that he had to change his diet for a role or two. Mitigating factors, let's call it that. But again, I'm also aware that Spooky Weeb Trash was standing for Brendan Fraser in other tweets. To our penultimate tweet, and this one's quite precious, we go to a 1 minute long TikTok video that was retweeted by Ranting Monkey and by Tailed Feature. Tailed Feature retweeting with, homeschool your kids, and Ranting Monkey, why is anyone okay with this? There was a sentence above it, but I think it might kill the point of the video, and I want you to hear the video first.
Story time. This has been my first year in preschool with a class of my own, teaching alongside another queer neurodivergent educator, and we have been rocking our twos class. We've been talking about gender and skin color and consent and empathy and our bodies and autonomy. It's been fabulous. But our teaching team is shifting and a new person is being onboarded, someone with many years of experience. So today at the lunch table, when the topic of gender and genitals came up, one of our students plainly looked up and said, well, I'm a girl today, but I know that teacher Co isn't. No, they're NB. And the look on the incoming teacher's face was priceless. She was shocked in a good way, and she just looked around at the two of us and said, this class is incredible and I am so impressed.
So, this particular person would like to talk to preschoolers about very sensitive subjects in a more flippant nature or attitude, something I vehemently disagree with. But I'm not a parent, what do I know? I'll, of course, in this instance, leave it to you, the parents, if you are one at all who watches this video, hello, to simply tell me down below how inappropriate this video might be. Bear in mind, and this is important, this video could well just be a PO, but it is always possible when it comes to TikTok that it is not. So to our final subject, not the intended main event, we go to Outlaw Realms. This week at Twitter, woman molests unfortunate birdie. This is a retweet from Ian Miles Chong, and it, well, I'll play the video while we're talking. As you can see, that poor burb is being molested. I'm not okay with this for a couple reasons. First, there's a child there. It's not acceptable decorum, really, is it? It's quite, trashy. And I have written down here, because of the violation to the goose, to the cubes with you. It is the only place where you belong for well, borderline bestiality at this point. Please don't touch geese like that. As much as we can all consider them massive dicks, they don't deserve to be, well, I don't even know what to describe that as. Violated? Maybe? Anyway, as we're done, I'd like to know what you all think. Please do let me know in the comments down below. As a final thing, I shall be hosting a weekly roundup of politics stream on the Moist Ski Live channel. It is linked in the link tree down in the description. If interested, please consider swinging by. If I don't see you there, have a fantastic Friday and subsequent weekend. And thank you all very much for listening.